Alright, so I'm off down here at the spread. Brought the old KDX down here, using the old Impala tow vehicle. But I'm not coming down here to ride, even though we definitely have plenty of space to. We had a torrential downpour right before I had headed over here, so yeah, the place is gonna be pretty impassable. Anytime there's any amount of rain, the dirt here just falls all apart and becomes slicker and I'll get out. So what am I doing here? I'm coming to get the RM465. That thing's been out of commission for a little while, so I think it's about time I bring it home and start getting it ready to race. Hoping to hit it at least, I'm hoping to hit Nichols Park whenever ARMA comes around off in November, so hey, you know what? I better get to working now while I have time. Racing season is on its little break for the summer, so might as well get to working. Now usually I just drive on down here, come to our open section where, you know, anybody who's paid attention to my older videos may have seen me start off my rides. Problem is, you know, there's this little downhill here, and even though it looks decent right now, as soon as I try to drive on this thing, I'd be getting no traction. That right there is not good to drive on, and neither is any of this down here, so that's why I'm parked way up on top of the hill. But enough of that, I'm gonna go get my bike. Enough walking down this section of trail. I'm walking over here. I can see where she's at. Kind of excited to see my most beautiful bikes for the first time in a couple months. I absolutely love that thing, but unfortunately there's a little oops that happened. All right, there she is. My beautiful 1982 RM465. Ready to go home and see why this thing quit shifting on me. So this thing, like I said, it quit shifting on me last time I was riding it around. Brought it out here, rode through the trail. First time this thing ever made a lap out here. And I ended up I eventually found second gear and rode my last section of the trail in second. So I'm gonna get this thing back up to the car, swap it out for that KDX, bring the KDX down here, and you know, we'll get going from there. So I got this here RM465 brought back up to my Impala. I got the KDX 200 off the trailer, pushed it all the way back down to where this bike was, which let me tell you, it's a lot easier pushing downhill than it was bringing this heavy bike uphill. So I'm just gonna load this thing up and then get rolling back home. All loaded up, fixing to go home using the old Impala tow vehicle. Any of y'all's tow vehicles, a car that sounds like that? So what I have pulled up right here is going to be a diagram of the shifting mechanism for that 465. And one thing you'll notice is this right here. We have the drain plug, washer, the plunger, and there's supposed to be a little spring right here is what this is. Well, I pulled the drain plug out of my bike, and what do we have? Well, I got the drain plug, a little washer on it. I've got the plunger here, but there's no spring to be found. You know, I don't remember there ever being a spring there, which is weird. But, well, since there's supposed to be one there, I'll see if just throwing a spring there will help it actually index into the shifting mechanism and allow this thing to be in the right gear. So I got a spring installed here, nice and squishy. Got just an extra one I had lying around, cut it down to length. Probably a little long, but it'll compress as far as it needs to go. I'm going to install this and we'll see if this thing shifts. Now if this works, I must say, I'm going to be having to put all new oil in, even though it's only been ridden once, because that was red whenever it went in. Now it's completely black. Drain plug is installed with that spring in between the plunger and the plug, and all of a sudden, hey, this thing actually wants to shift and actually, you know, index into the gears, which it was not doing before. It just ended up between gears. So that right there makes me think that one tiny little spring is the entire reason that this bike was down and shoved away in the woods for like 3 months. Anyway, I'm actually going to be doing a lot more to this than just making it shift, which I've now done. I'm going to be digging into it, taking the carburetor off, taking the pipe off, and seeing if I can't figure out if this thing has bad crank seals or not. After that, I got tools on order on their way to rebuild these forks. Probably find myself some good fork boots instead of these seal savers that are junk. And we'll go from there. Anyway, for this update, well, we're done. See y'all on the next round.